What is going on, guys? Craig1287 here, bringing you yet another Battlefield 4 gameplay. That's really not the focus of today's video. The gameplay was just a pretty decent round of Gold Mud doing some rush as I am a defender, getting really comfortable with this rock. But the main purpose of today's video is to, if you guys hadn't heard already, there was a big patch, relatively large patch, not the biggest one that we've had, but definitely a pretty good sized patch that has released for Battlefield 4 on all of the platforms, all the consoles, and of course the PC. And with this patch came some pretty darn good changes, some new content as well. The new content isn't actually a part of the patch. It's pretty interesting how they're doing this. As many of you probably know, the night map, or night maps, are something that DICE have been working on, and one of them has come out now. It's the Zavod night map. It's called Zavod Graveyard Shift, and it's actually not a part of the patch. This was probably, I don't know if this was done for like legal reasons or just the practicality of cutting down on the actual size of the patch. Now the patch is, stuff that has to happen to all users. Everybody has to be on the same version, but not everybody has to have the night map. And the night map itself is it's a few hundred megabytes in size, and so they probably separated these two to make things easier for people who maybe didn't even care to try out the new map, or they have issues with like data caps and things of that sort. So, or just slow internet. They want to be able to download the patch quickly, get into the new patched game, but not have to worry about downloading a few hundred extra megabytes for a map that they may or may not play. So it's very cool, but it makes it a little difficult to get this night map. I know on Origin, well, for PC, you just go to Origin and you add the night map to your cart, and then you just buy it. They don't even ask, or they didn't ask me for any actual like credit card information. It popped up saying no credit card information is needed, and it just I got it then and there, and it added it to me, and I can find it on Battlelog now. So for the consoles, I know there's a download link. I'll try to include that. I think I only have the links for the 360 and Xbox One versions, but yeah, I'm sure your PlayStation guys, you probably just get it off of the PlayStation Network somehow, I would imagine. So that's the night map, and it's cool. I really look forward to checking out the finalized version, not just the one that has been on the CTE for months, but the final version. And from what I've seen from some screenshots, people have tried messing around with the brightness, going from what you typically would have on your average brightness, all the way up to 100% brightness. It really doesn't make that big a difference. So that's good to see that they've kind of thought that through, and that doesn't just make that cheap thing that people do. Like where people used to put tape with crosshairs on it in the very middle of their screen to give themselves pinpoint accuracy for where they're aiming for those kind of games that don't have a crosshair on your screen. Things like that is kind of the stupid tactics that people use, but it's kind of cool that that doesn't actually really give you that much of a benefit. So check out the new night map. I think the Siege of Shanghai night map is probably going to be the next one to come soon. Don't know when though, but Zavod 311 is now out. So as for the actual patch, there's a whole lot to list if I were to list all of it. So I'm just going to, in the video description, provide a link to the actual post on Battlelog to the full patch notes. But I figured I'd go over some things that I thought were highlights for me personally, or things that I'm a little cautious about, and I'm going to have to put some time into the game to really figure out if these things are actually improvements or if they're going to be setbacks. So very first thing is the soldier movement. They've slowed down the side to side, so this is when you're strafing left and right, from 0.4 down to 0.35 on soldier sidestep to make that movement less jerky. A lot of people hate this tactic where people just walk back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and use the advantage of the crappy animation to make the guy hard to aim at. This seems to be further attempts to fix this, so looking forward to that. Next is that they added the team balancer as a default server option for larger modes. This one I'm not so sure about. It's already hard enough to be with my buddies, my TG, teammates in 64-man battles. It's really not that big a team stacking when there's 64 players and there's only like 5 of us or maybe 6 of us. Or even if we're on separate teams, when this team balance stuff, it may between rounds and mid-rounds, sometimes depending on what the server settings are, we have to end up like alt-tabbing out and moving us around in TeamSpeak because we don't want people all in the same TeamSpeak channel if we're on separate teams. Definitely makes it hard for when you say, hey, I'm going to do this objective, and now the other team knows exactly where I'm going to be going. So I'm a little iffy on this this team balance thing, but yeah, the entire section on networking is pretty awesome, but a few things. Changed frame history time variable to 1 to prevent dusting on fast-moving vehicles, mainly jets. This is awesome because I dust those things all the time. Dusting is where you hit it. Clearly there is an explosion, but you don't get a hit marker and you don't actually deal any damage. So visually you hit it. Technically you didn't. It's weird. Next thing, updated server and client code to support variable tick rate simulation rates. That's very cool. That's very cool. Next thing, significantly improved client-to-client damage delay by forcing all clients to send damage based on frame rate instead of simulation rate. Yeah, when I first started reading this one, I was super excited because they were talking about, they said the word significantly, the word improved, and client-to-client damage delay. But then they said that they're tying it to the frame rate. Now, on consoles, that kind of makes sense because you guys are locked at a standard frame rate, but on the PC, I can have one of my guys is on his laptop, he's getting 30 frames per second, and then I'm on my desktop that I'm on, getting 140 frames per second. What is that going to mean? Is that going to benefit him with the lower end? Is it going to benefit me with the higher end? Is it just going to screw both of us over because of the difference of 100 plus frames? I don't know. I'm just going to have to see how this one pans out. Next thing, the mobile anti-air. They did some changes to both the 30mm and the 20mm. Back in the day, the 20mm used to have the faster bullet velocity but did less damage. And the 30mm did more damage per bullet, but it had a lower bullet velocity, and I believe it did overheat quicker. You would have to burst it in shorter bursts. And then they went and did a giant change to the 20mm, and they made it to where they were just as slow as the 30mm, which really pissed me off. It seems like maybe they've gone and countered that now. It says 20mm has better range and is easier to use thanks to faster bullets. In maps with jets, I'm going to use the 20mm again because it's almost impossible to take jets out with the mobile anti-air, which seems odd, unless you're using the active radar rockets. Because the 20mm and the 30mm just can't shoot and lead properly because the slightest changes in those jets throw your aim off, and you have to lead too far for that to be effective. So I'm very excited about that as somebody who hates getting destroyed by jets. Next thing, fixed a long time issue where infantry weapons failed to reload properly. It looked like they did, but they really didn't. This is awesome. This has been in, I think just since Bad Company, maybe Bad Company 2 is where it started. I think it just did start with the Frostbite engine, so very excited to see that be fixed. That is awesome, and I hope to God that doesn't go over in, well, I hope the fix goes over to Battlefront, but I don't think Battlefront has that problem because they don't have actual magazines, they have overheat. Who knows? At least the next Battlefield. I hope it's not a problem. The next section, a whole bunch of changes for flashbangs. Effects angle is now 145 degrees. Flash duration for friendlies is reduced to 0.6 seconds. No longer blinds dead people, so you're not going to get revived and be already blind. The suppression effect from the flashbangs, that's cool. Reduce the number of flashbangs you can carry from 3 down to 2. Updated effect to work exactly the same in dark and light environments, so nice for the new map. Shielded players in vehicles no longer get blinded. Open vehicle seats will be blinded, however, so like transport chopper or things of that sort. Reduced time to live from 10 seconds to 1.5 seconds. This prevents players from dropping flashbangs from tall buildings at enemies below. And they improve the target line of sight obstruction testing, so if you're actually behind stuff, it's probably not going to blind you. So this is very cool. But flashbangs have been the bane of everybody's existence since very recently. So hopefully this does change them. Another thing, added blinking red light to the M15 AT mines to increase visibility in night map and other dark areas. It'll only be interesting to see how this pans out. I haven't actually seen any AT mines since the patch, so be sure to be looking out for that. They increased the straw range and top speed slightly. It did get nerfed very badly recently in its turn range, but with the top speed increase and the lowered turn radius, I think this is actually going to hurt it more. Maybe for taking out snipers in the distance, this will help it, but in terms of hitting moving objects, I think this is actually going to make it a little harder. We'll just see. I'll mess with it a bit. Decrease the headshot multiplier for revolvers, slugs, and the Desert Eagle. I almost called it the Deagle. From 2.35 times to 2.13. This prevents pump action slugs from being able, and the other things listed, from being able to one-hit kill at infinite range, and keeps the mayor's leg one-hit kill headshot at ranges below 40 meters. This is very cool because it's so annoying to get killed by shotguns and stuff from all the way across the map when they just get a lucky headshot. Incredibly annoying. At the very end, it does say, quote, head glitch, end quote, fixes. So I guess they kind of just went through and did some more specific head glitch issue fixes. So, yeah, this ended up being a lot longer than I expected to. But guys, there you have it. There are the patch changes, patch additions, and the new night map. So what do you guys think if you've played the game since this big patch, and especially if you've played on the new night map? What do you guys think? I look forward to getting some good footage of the new game, and especially the new night map. Hope you guys enjoyed the gameplay going on there in the background. Enjoyed everything. Have a good one. Ta-ta.